Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Caribbean. We're on our way into St. Lucia. Somebody asked me for this flight. I was flying the ATR. It was an ATR video where somebody asked for St. Lucia, but I figured this might do the trick. It's kind of an interesting approach actually today because we're flying. Let me show you real quick. We flew kind of a different route. Usually, there we go. Usually when you fly to St. Lucia, you would come down here and out and down. I followed the route that the actual, so this is American Airlines flight 22905, and we're following the exact flight path that the real plane is flying. And they came down over the Dominican, Haiti and the Dominican, and then out this way and straight in, which makes some sense to me. But let's get ready for this approach here. Got a lot of this stuff done, but not everything. Let's review the approach. Let's see, it's an RNAV approach, so we don't have to tune any radios. Final approach course is 105. Let's get that in on both sides. Come on. 105 Mattis glide slope intercept at 1,800 feet. So we can actually bring this down to 1,800. What do we got right now? 108 on the heading. So that's good. I did my weight and approach speed already. To get your gross weight at approach, you take 9.2, what you've got now, and then TLPL 8.7. So you just subtract the 0.5. What we had was, let's see here, let me go back. Is approach, say 129.0 is what we have, so you subtract 8.7 from 9.2, that's 0.5, so 128.5, and then you get the gross weight at landing, and that's going to give you your approach speed. So everything else is pretty much set. Really kind of some interesting weather out here today. You see this? Kind of cool. Very misty. So live weather has really come alive, so to speak, in the Caribbean. I mean, looks like high altitude rain showers, really. So we're 60 miles from Too Bad, which is the initial approach fix. Alright, so decision altitude is 690 feet. Let's dial that in. Oopsie, wrong way. 690. We'll get the weather here in a little bit. I don't expect to have to fly a real approach, as the saying goes. Alright, 690 airport elevation is 0 for all intents and purposes. That's right there. Let's see. Missed approach, climb 2,500, direct Umigo. It's straight ahead. And hold. So this is a non-standard holding pattern because it's left-hand turns. Remember, standard holding pattern is the opposite of standard traffic pattern. So standard traffic pattern at the airport is left-hand turns. Standard holding pattern is right-hand turns. God only knows why they did that. Probably just to make it confusing. Anyway, this is set up perfectly for a a parallel entry, but we are not going to fly a parallel entry if we have to. And why not? Because we do not like parallel entries. And why don't we like parallel entries? Because parallel entries are the only, there's a couple reasons. First of all, parallel entries are the only holding pattern entries that keep you outside of protected airspace. I don't like being outside of protected airspace. This airspace in here is protected. You're not. I mean, clearly we're not going to hit anything out here anyway. It's the ocean, right? If you hit the ocean, you've really got problems. But generally speaking, this airspace right here in the hold is protected. It's 4 nautical miles, and they there's speed rules. See, you got your max holding altitude, max holding airspeed 230 knots. So this 4 nautical mile space here is protected, right? Which means there are no objects in there for you to hit, which is the whole idea of a holding pattern. Now, a standard parallel entry has you fly the outbound heading 105 and then make a right-hand turn, which is the opposite direction of the hold turns. The hold turns are left-handed. See that? You have to come out here on a heading of 105 and then make a right-hand standard rate turn around in a circle. Well, not a circle, but come back in until you intercept this 285 inbound to Umigo, and then start your holding patterns, your left-hand turns. That is a poo-poo idea. I'm probably getting the whatchamacallit. First of all, I'm talking too much. I'm probably getting the drag required message, which I don't see, but let's get runway 10. Let's get the fix here. We're going 25 because that's when we make our first radio call. Is 25 miles out. 15 miles out is when we slow to our upspeed, and 10 miles out is where we go flaps 5. So, got that. Alright, back to the legs page. Now, the other reason we don't like parallel entries, so you're basically you're outside of protected airspace and you're making turns in the opposite direction of the hold turn. So it's your first turn is the opposite direction of the hold turn. Your first turn is a right-hand turn in a left-hand holding pattern, and that's just confusing. I don't like being confused. I'm easily confused. Ask anybody. So therefore, I don't like parallel entries. Teardrop entries, on the other hand, are the simplest entries in the world, and everybody thinks they're confusing. They're the easiest holding pattern entries in the world, and I'll tell you how to do them properly. So, teardrop entry. You hit this waypoint, Umigo, and because it's a non-standard holding pattern, left-hand turns, you take your outbound heading, which is 105, and add 30 degrees. So you come here at a heading of 105 to Umigo, turn right, turn right heading 135, go for 4 nautical miles, and then make a standard rate left-hand turn around to intercept the 285 inbound to Umigo. If it's a standard holding pattern, which is right-hand turns, you would come out here and hit Umigo and go outbound. Your outbound would be the same no matter which side the hold is on. You hit your outbound minus 30, which would be 75 degrees. You turn left 75 degrees, and then make your turn here, standard rate turn inbound to the 285. So, now that I've thoroughly confused everybody, visual descent. What is this, folks? This is our visual descent point. What are we? Category C aircraft. Category A is final approach speed of 0 to 90 knots. Category B is 91 to 120. Category C is 121 to 140. We're exactly 140, so we're a Category C airplane today. VDP is your visual descent point. Your visual descent point is the point at which if you see the runway by the visual descent point, you can make a normal rate of descent down to a landing from the VDP. So obviously, the faster you're going, the further out that has to be. For Category C, 2.4 nautical miles to runway 10 waypoint is our visual descent point. And can you descend after the VDP to land? Yes, you can, The only thing that means is, like, let's say the only thing that means is you would have to make a steeper than normal descent to landing. That's the only thing that means. Now, standard altimeter, it's got lights going here. I talk too much, you guys know that already. I just like talking about instrument flight. Instrument flight to me is the most fun thing in the world. So what you do is you come down to your 690, which is your decision altitude, and if you see the runway by 2.4 nautical miles to the waypoint, because this is a waypoint, that's why it's marked as such on the chart. See how it's marked on the chart as a waypoint? And that circle around the star means it's a fly over waypoint, by the way. These are fly by waypoints. So if you see the runway environment by 2.4 nautical miles to the runway 10 waypoint, you can make a normal descent to the landing. So we're going to hit two bed at 3,000 feet. Oh wait, one thing we need to do, we are not going to do a hold. See how it's got a hold here? So we are going to take that two bed and place it there, so that we don't have to do the hold, so that the system won't predict the hold. I should probably shut up and start flying at some point. Anyway, we hit two bed, down to 1800, dive and drive. Glide slope intercept at Matties at 1800 feet, 3-degree glide slope, 2.4 from runway 10 is our visual to sight point. This is 3-degree glide slope, which is standard. 140 knots is 743 feet per minute. Descent is a PAPI on the left-hand side of the runway. It is an ALS, which is an approach light system with a rabbit. Mist is climb 2500, direct Humigo. Alright, now let's get the weather here at Hewanorra. Hewanorra, traffic American 22905 is 25 miles to the west, inbound runway 10, Hewanorra. 150 gusting 12. Temperature 31, dew point 26, so that's relatively close. It's a possibility of some obscuration, but we're 7 miles from two bed. I know a lot of the U.S. operators don't have. I can see the runway already, right there. I know a lot of the U.S. operators don't have the approach mode. I use it because why not? Last thing I want to do is check the runway, check the airport rather, and see what the airfield looks like. So I'm going to be trying to get off by Bravo and park at the terminal building. Cool stuff. Really, really cool stuff. I'm liking this weather. Alright, so speed is starting to walk back. It's going to walk back to our up speed. Our up speed is our flaps 40 approach speed, which is 133 plus 70, so 203 is our up speed. What do I want? I want legs and I want progress 2 page so I can get my headwind crosswind component. Alright. Hewanorra traffic, American 22905, 15-mile final, runway 10, Hewanorra. All right. .203 is the up speed, and you can see we're underneath the glide path. There's the diamond for the glide path. And that's what you want to do. You want to approach the glide path from below. That's the whole idea. You want to intercept the glide path from below. Alright, lights are on. Everything's looking good. No. Alright, Bisno is 10 nautical miles, so we're gonna go flaps 1. And you can see now your flaps 1 speed is your up speed minus 20 knots. Yeah, it's gonna tell me pretty soon that I need some drag.
$2,500.
Alright. And there's capture. So I'm gonna go flaps 10. Alright. The reason I like the progress 2 page is I can see my crosswind component. 15 knots right now, it's a pretty decent crosswind component. So, 5 miles, let's arm the spoilers, speed brakes are set. I'm gonna go gear down, flaps 15. Dial that speed back to 163. 145 is my VRAF speed. So let's go flaps 30. Dial this back to 145 now is the speed I want. Hewanorra traffic, American 22905, 3-mile final, runway 10, Hewanorra.
1,000.
Alright. Settled in with that crosswind is decent right now.
Approaching minimum.
Alright.
Minimums.
Continuing.
$100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Well, those reversers took a while. That was interesting for sure. My last two my last two 737 landings have been interesting. Hewanorra traffic, American 2295, back taxiing runway 10, Hewanorra. And the reason I'm back taxiing is because there's not a really good taxiway. To use. So let's turn the autopilot or the flight directors off. Dun, dun, dun. Those off. So yeah, that was an interesting landing. My last two 737 landings yesterday into Miami was hairy. The only thing I was thinking about on this one, really, in terms of like making sure nothing went too far south, is I just wanted to be down in the touchdown zone, which are these white bars. And as long as I'm down inside the touchdown zone, I'm alright. I mean, would I have preferred to have been down sooner? Yes. You know, but all good. So, this is a really cool airport, and I have the payware version. I've got the payware version for pretty much every Caribbean airport. This one being no exception. And I think you guys will like this one. There's another great one over on the other side of the island, by the way, which is where they fly the ATR. Caribbean Airlines flies the ATR in there, and American Airlines used to fly the ATR in there. I think the jets go over there. But I also think that I am the master of my own universe, and I'm going to park right here. Nah, that's not going to work, is it? Well, we're going to make it work. Simply because I want to park here at Hewanorra and show you this beautiful airport. Yeah, I guess this will work. Yeah, this will work just fine. So. Do 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 do. Let's see where that is there. And we'll try and get our line. Alright. Let's hit this. Let's come up here and turn that off so that the humans don't go crazy. And let's come down here. Let's go to menu, FS actions, ground services, get our chocks on. And we need ground power. And we need all kinds of other things. Let's get up here, turn these off so we don't burn them out, because heat in the Caribbean is not really what you're looking for. Ground power is available. Let's turn the ground power on. Turn the fuel pumps, most of them, off anyway. And now, air conditioning. That's the number one thing you gotta get here in the islands. You gotta get yourself some air conditioning. We want to condition the air, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna request the stairs. And let's see here. So we got us some ground power already. We've got the see, and here's what we're looking for is this temperature up here to make sure we don't catch on fire here. Air conditioning is active. That makes me a happy man. I just realized something I forgot on the flight, but that's alright. Turn the electric hydraulic pumps off. Let's turn the APU bleeds off. Oh, excuse me, the engine bleeds off. And we're good to go for the most part. Come down here. Opening the forward entry door. And we'll get a look outside. And there we go. So, here is our aeroplane. Beautifully parked here at... I keep looking outside and seeing things that I need to do. We want that on steady. We want that off. Alright. So, now... we're going to go. And there's my buddies Arnell from... texting me from London to ask me how my flight went, I'm sure. Almost a perfect parking job. So here is Hewanorra International Airport in St. Lucia. Really cool rendition of this airport. It's very inexpensive. I forget what it costs, but it's definitely worth to go out and buy. It's a fun airport to fly into. And yeah, another successful flight today for American Airlines Virtual. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.